Truly, there is no rest for the weary. Scarce had I begun to make myself at home when I received a request for assistance from Magina and Sons Mineral Concern. It would appear their storehouses in Horizon has been the target of a series of covert robberies. Minor as they seem in isolation, occasional disparities in the manifests were long dismissed as clerical errors. It was only during the concern's annual audit that a pattern became apparent. Significant quantities of crystals, and only crystals, were missing. I need hardly tell you what that may imply. Great. Another frickin' primal. The Brass Blades charged with investigating the thefts believe that someone within the concern is selling the crystals for profit. Alas, they have as yet been unable to identify a likely suspect, and the concern's proprietors have grown frustrated by their lack of progress. Needless to say, I would not have agreed to intervene had the stolen goods been of merely monetary value. If there is even a possibility that the thief acts not out of self-interest but in service to a primal, we can ill afford to wait for the Blades to realize their mistake. Pray depart for Horizon at your earliest convenience. Rendezvous with Stola when you arrive. She and Thancred have already begun a preliminary investigation. I have every confidence that the three of you will get to the bottom of these thefts. I only hope our fears prove unfounded when you do. Kira, your assistance is most welcome. I've already spoken a link with the Brass Blades of the Rose, albeit to little avail. It would seem that the thieves took great pains to conceal their activities. I could go into further detail, but your time might be better spent in conversation with Falupa. He is the officer charged with leading the investigation, and I will only be repeating that which he related to me. If I eluded my attention, mayhap it will not elude yours. Hello there, Kira. Oh, Kira, was it? Your Stola said to expect you. Terrible business, these thefts. We have yet to confirm the quantity of crystals stolen, but I dare say it may be greater than... but never mind that. I have news to share. A short while ago, the driver of a heavily laden carriage refused to halt for inspection and broke through one of our checkpoints on the Royal Allegan Sunway. Alas, my colleagues had no mounts with which to give chase. However, our scouts have reported seeing a cart of the same description bound for eastern Thanalan. These could be our thieves, don't you think? Must inform your Stola at once. is already afield with a unit of brass blades. I shall instruct him to take up a position to the east of the beastman's encampment. Pray join him there. Any news, Thancred, my boy? Ah, Kier. For once it is you who is fashionably late. We seized the errant carriage and its excitable coachman not long ago. In all my years, I have never seen such a prodigious quantity of somnus. The blades were calling it one of the greatest. Ah, sadly not. The coachman had no hand in the crystal thefts. Judging by my survey of their encampment, neither did the Almal Jaw. But let's discuss this in Y'shtola's presence, shall we? I'll see you back in Horizon. So we find ourselves back where we began. Overlooked. Against all expectation, it would seem the Almal Jaw are innocent of this particular spate of crimes. By all indications, they have yet to replenish the stores of crystals exhausted during their last attempt to summon Ephraim. What I can't fathom is why anyone else would go to such lengths to obtain crystals in such quantities. It cannot be that we're dealing with simple thieves. If their motives were profit, why would they limit their trade to crystals alone? Plainly, we're missing something. While you think about what it might be, I shall inform Orion J of our progress, or lack thereof.
Now then. Tis I. The situation may be more complicated than we anticipated.
Indeed, I shall remain watchful. Ere thou goest, another matter requireth thine attention. A young maiden, full eager to... Wherefore inquirest thou of her fairness? Ugh, very well. Be she damsel or devil, I shall direct her steps to Revenant's toll. Save thine insinuations for one given to such impropriety. Thou shalt not find me amenable.
Far across the sea from the land of Domar have we traveled. We seek audience with the ruler of these lands. Who here speaks for you?
Any bright ideas? Solitary flash of insight? No? Well then, for want of a better suggestion, I say we try picking Ufalupa's brain again. Who knows, if we work together, we may yet find something of use nestled away within it. Say ye, Ufalupa? And what of the brass blades of the rose? Can you say for certain that none were involved? To be honest, I cannot. I've done my utmost to purge the corruption from our ranks since Captain Baldwin brought to justice. But of those who remain, well, let's just say that there are many whose wants exceed their wealth. I fear the presence of a traitor would go some way to explaining how these thieves' activities escaped our notice for so long. It would be most unfortunate if your fears proved well-founded. Indeed, if, for reasons of security, the concern decided to transfer the remaining crystals stored in Horizon to another location, the plans would be discovered the moment the brass blades were informed. Ah, but such a shipment would surely be well guarded. Thieves as willy as ours risk open confrontation? Mayhap not, but neither would the concern be eager to present them with such an obvious target. Nay, they might instead elect to carry out the transfer in secret, to entrust the goods to, let us say, a lone coat miner, traveling without escort, so as not to attract undue attention. But who? Ah, I see. Yes, the concern may well elect to do that. But to travel with so much cargo would be a strenuous task indeed, and this miner would certainly need to rest upon the way. Mayhap north of the bridge to Hammer Lake? A fine spot for a rest. Would you not agree, Kieran? Lie in wait to the north, and I shall do the same to the south. Forgive me, my friends, but I have received new orders. I must inform my men at once. Call me a cynic, but I would be surprised if these thieves lay down their arms and surrender. See that you come prepared to offer them some encouragement. Looking good in that miner gear. Stubborn to the last, as expected. You are unharmed? Yep. A gang of sea-wolf thieves, and in Thanalan no less. Suppose there's a first time for everything. Sea-wolves? All of them? Aye, all with the same taste and facial tattoos. Blue, in case you're wondering. Our thieves are a long way from home. What y'all thinking? Thancred, if you would be so good as to attend to outstanding matters in Horizon, I have inquiries to make. Horizon, then. Oompa will want to hear about your meeting with the thieves. Palumpa! On behalf of the Brass Blades of the Rose, I thank you for your service to Horizon. But we have not been idle. While you were afield, we succeeded in identifying the traitor within our ranks. Is that so? Then, by your leave, I should very much like to have a word with the fellow in private. No. I'm afraid that will not be possible. Regrettably, he, managed to subdue the unit of Blaze dispatched to detain him and made good his escape. Oh, for the love of... And how did he manage that exactly? Your men haven't been sampling the somnus we confiscated, have they? Or was he a giant in disguise? No, but he was quite strong. Seawolf. Amensian born and raised, I believe. But do not worry, we will find him. You have my word on that. I see. Pray, keep me apprised of any developments. Yes, she's standing next to me. Understood. I fear our time together is at an end, my friend. Your services are required elsewhere. Awfully disappointing, I know. But one must follow where duty leads. You might try to look a little disappointed. Or do you mean to give me another one of your stoic nods? You do, don't you? You love my nods. I know you do. Antecede and bid me tell you to make for Vesper Bay, where young Alphino awaits your coming most eagerly. It was he who requested your assistance. Some commotion or incident? I'm not privy to the details. While you do whatever it is that Alphino has planned for you, I shall endeavor to track down our traitorous brass blade. And when I do, you may rest assured that we will have our answers. What up, Alphino? You were late. No matter. I know where our visitors are headed. From what I have been able to gather, this vessel belongs to a band of Domans who seek an audience with the Sultana. You are familiar with Doma, yes? An author? Well, like the rest of the nation, Garlean Empire. Given our visitors' unannounced arrival, as well as the state of their ship, I suspect they did not leave their homeland under the best circumstances. Needless to say, I should be very interested to hear their tale, and, more importantly, what they know of the current state of affairs in the Empire. Such information could prove most useful. We would be fools not to pursue this opportunity, do you not think? Come with me to Ulda, Kira. Unless I am mistaken, and I'm rarely mistaken, we will find the Domans bickering with the Sultan's sword on the Royal Promenade. You are uncertain of your role in the proceedings? Insurance. If our guests are not themselves Imperial agents, it seems fair to assume that they may be being pursued by some, and if not, who better than you to have on hand in the event of an unforeseen diplomatic incident? Besides, I do so enjoy your sparkling repartee. Satisfied? Good. I shall see you in Ulda. Matters not how many times you ask. Without the necessary permissions, none shall pass. Pray understand, good sir. We have not the leisure to lodge a formal petition. Time is of the essence. All I ask is that you summon your superior. Allow me to plead my case. Surely you can grant us that small kindness. Away with you, and darken these doors no longer. I will not ask again. You know not what you do. I gather your pleas fell upon deaf ears. A loyal man with a cold heart. Know his kind well. I hope that you will find me more to your liking. Alphino Levier, at your service. A friend. Which, I believe, makes me very nearly unique in this part of the world, at least. Few indeed are your allies in Ulda, yet you will need some if you wish to endear yourselves to the wealthy and powerful. Pray join me and my associate at the quicksand. There you may explain your situation to us, and we shall see if there is aught we can do to help.
We have traveled some several thousand miles across the sea, from the nation of Doma, in hopes that we might find sanctuary in these lands.
Sanctuary, Lady Yugiri?
Aye. Lying within Othard, Doma was under the dominion of the Garlean Empire, as I'm sure you are aware. When the War of Succession broke out in Garlemald, we espied an opportunity to free ourselves from the yoke of imperial oppression and took up arms. Only to be crushed. And so I gathered what few Domans escaped the reckoning and guided them hither to your shores.
A war of succession? Then the Emperor... Forgive me. You said that Doma was under Imperial rule, did you not?
Doma is gone. Razed to the ground as an example to the other provinces.
12 have mercy. And your people?
On a ship anchored in Vesper Bay, flying borrowed colors. Many were complicit in the rebellion, or akin to those who were. They will not come ashore until I send word that it is safe to do so. I sought an audience with your rulers, but was summarily refused.
The lords of Ulda are not wont to entertain foreign refugees without suitable encouragement.
Mayhap I was foolish to expect otherwise, but our supplies run low and we have young ones in urgent need of care. I have seen the tents outside the gates, however. We are not the first to seek asylum, nor will we be the last.
Be that as it may, Ulda is no friend to Garlemald. Your tale would stir the hearts of many men and women here. The Sultana and the Syndicate will not be so easily swayed, but I shall see that you are granted an opportunity to plead your case.
This is within your power?
Well, far be it from me to boast, but I do have the ear of certain influential individuals.
I am in your debt.
Lady Yugiri, forgive me for observing, but your choice of attire seems like to evoke feelings of mistrust.
Men are wont to fear the unfamiliar. We know this from experience. We seek only to spare the people of Uldar unnecessary disquiet.
I shall defer to your experience, then.
I thank you for your understanding.
It seems I have urgent business with the Flame General. I leave our guests in your capable hands.
If I may, madam, as I said earlier, we have been at sea for several moons, and our supplies are all but spent. I have not the art to repeat the tale of our tribulations, nor would it please you to listen to them, I think. Suffice it to say, however, sacrifices have been made. Though it shames me to beg for more, when you have already offered so much, desperation compels me. Good madam, if you or your associates could spare any provisions, anything at all, it would go a long way to lessen the suffering of the people. Young Momodi was cracking her. Hells, why didn't you say so sooner, Kira? Of course I'll help. You couldn't have picked a better day, to tell the truth. A wealthy merchant and his entourage were due to have a banquet here on the morrow, see? But just sent word that they can't come, meaning I've got a boatload of food stuff and no one to feed. Best of all, they paid for the lot in advance. Go and call on Fredura and Catherine at the Sapphire Avenue Exchange. Tell them I said to ship the little prince's order to the Wakened Sands. Oh, and if they argue, just show them those letters. That should set them straight. My, that's a rather odd request. Mayhap you misheard her instructions. Let us, son. You know, you shouldn't encourage them like this. They'll start to expect it. You mark my words. He's in the business of feeding refugees now? I ain't normally one to question Mistress Momodi's judgment, but that doesn't seem wise to me. Let her, son. I'll not speak for the children, but if you ask me, any man what can't earn a crust deserves to go home. It's already out his mouth. They didn't give you any trouble, did they? Good. Now go and tell Lady Yugiri it's all in hand. I dare not hope for such magnanimity. Magnanimity. Much less expected. Mistress Momodi is generous indeed. I shall be sure to thank her most humbly. All kinds of food. Sweet. Lady Yugiri, I briefed the Flame General on your situation. I think you will be pleased with his reply. You have been granted an audience. Before the Sultana and the Syndicate both, we should return to the Royal Promenade at once. You have done much for us, Master Alpha. I swear we shall return the favor. Naught is owed, Lady Yugiri, for naught has been given. The small favor you fairly won with your words. And it is with the words that you must win the favor of the Syndicate. I shall choose them with care. You will be accompanying us, yes? Good. Your presence may serve to remind the Syndicate of the true meaning of philanthropy, and that nothing so unpalatable will be required of them, assuming the Domans are willing to earn their keep. Come, the Flame General awaits us on the promenade. pleasure, Kira. The others are already inside. Let's not keep them waiting.
I, Yugiri of Domar, am honored to meet you at last, Your Grace. To mark this auspicious occasion, I should like to present to you the finest treasures our humble nation has to offer. Alas, the circumstances which have brought me here today have divested me of both time and dignity. I come before you as a pauper in direst need of aid, to request that you grant my people asylum.
I, Nanamo, 17th in the line of Ul, welcome you to our city. Be at ease, Lady Yugiri. Although I myself have heard the tale of your misfortune, I would ask that you recount it once more for the benefit of the others here present.
As you wish, Your Grace. For many years, my nation, Domar, suffered under the yoke of imperial rule, and my people yearned to be free. Thus, when a war of succession broke out in Garlemald, we sought to take advantage of the chaos and reclaim our liberty. Alas, our enemy proved less preoccupied than we had hoped, and our rebellion was put down in the most brutal fashion.
Those who survived, how many do they number?
More than 200 souls huddle within the cramped confines of our own galleon's hold. Yet this figure accounts for but one of a number of ships which escaped the Purge. It is my hope that you will allow us all to dwell within your walls. Should that prove unfeasible, however, I humbly ask that you accept as many of my people as your resources allow. Pray understand, we do not beg a boon, but propose instead an arrangement. We would serve as soldiers or tradesmen until our debt is repaid.
What are the Syndicate's opinions on this matter?
I, for one, think it's a marvelous idea. Lady Yugiri and her people strike me as an industrious lot, and there are parts of the city which have yet to be fully restored. If they are willing to work, I see no reason not to let them.
The head of the Mirage Trust is not known for his generosity. He sees profit in this.
I agree. That said, these are foreign refugees. To admit them would require a formal resolution. Shall we call a vote?
The law is the law.
Lord Lolorito?
Tell me, are you blind or willfully ignorant? Even now, our streets are choked with the displaced victims of the Calamity and Alamigan refugees. They live hand to mouth, subsisting on aid provided by the immortal flames, the cost of which grows ever higher. The wealth of Ul'dah is not without limits, my friends. And need I remind you that these refugees are prone to violence and criminal activity? You have all read the reports, I think. Without homes or employment, it is only a matter of time before men grow desperate and take that which they imagine has been unjustly denied them. Yet, knowing this, you would have us swell their ranks. Mayhap you think the brass blades and the flames are not hard-pressed enough?
Some say the chairman of the East Aldenard Trading Company passes Gil thrice daily. This may explain how he came to be the wealthiest man in Ul'dah. Or it may simply be that he's ruthless beyond reckoning.
Surely the Sultanate can support the few hundred domins Lady Yugiri represents. That our resources have been taxed, I do not deny. But we are hardly in danger of financial collapse. I move that an exception be made.
An exception, Your Grace? I am suddenly reminded of a similar debate some years ago regarding a number of Alamigan refugees, if memory serves. What were your words that day? Yes. The law is the law. And so our visitors remained in Little Alamigo. Mayhap our wise and benevolent Sultana would be so good as to enlighten us as to which other of our laws should not be upheld.
Mind your tongue, Lolorito.
My lord, I share your concern for the welfare of our great nation, but we must endeavor to take a longer view. You know as well as I that people can be a resource still more precious than gil.
Precious or not, they were never yet so reliable. And unlike those who frequent your establishment, I have no desire to gamble with my future. Uldar's greatest asset is, and has ever been, her material wealth. We risk this at our peril. One need only look to Teleji Adeleji's example for evidence of the danger in allowing sentiment to dictate policy. How far the vaunted Mirage have fallen, both in repute and profitability, since he began employing refugees.
How I choose to conduct my affairs is not your concern, my lord.
A proposal has been tabled. Given its urgency, I move we forego further debate and call a vote. To accept the Doman refugees or not. Those in favor, I bid you remain. Those opposed, I bid you leave.
Would that it were within my power to welcome you and your people, Lady Yugiri. As you have observed, however, my authority in such matters is regrettably limited. Without the consent of the Syndicate, I cannot act.
I understand, Your Grace. And I appreciate all that you have done on our behalf.
The nerve of the man! If that bastard had not forsaken the eastern trade route, Little Alamigo would now be thriving. Oh, that you should have traveled so far under such dire circumstances, only to be refused in this manner is utterly unconscionable. Pray, accept my sincerest apologies.
Now that the Empire no longer poses an immediate threat, they see little reason to maintain the pretense of unity. The Monitorists have grown especially defiant of late. Lord Lolorito most of all. But this is neither the time nor place for that discussion.
As you observed, Lolorito is not afraid to speak his mind, nor is he like to change it. Oft have I wondered how a man so skilled at weighing the worth of things should be so incapable of seeing the value in people. I'll waste no more words on him. Not when the Domans are yet in need of aid. Everyone, follow me to the Hall of Flames. The Syndicate has spoken, and I see no point in moving. That the matter be reconsidered. The Monitorists have made their position clear. Agreed. Ulda is not an option. Nor are Limsa Lamenta or Gordania I drudge, given the state of their internal affairs, which leaves our Doma friends confined to a ship. Gods, the thought of them huddled in an airless hold with no hope of better treatment. Would that I had more time to find an alternative, a place not bound by the concerns of the great nations. Ophelia, that is precisely what I wish to discuss. I understand the Syndicate's decision. I do. We all wish to preserve that which is ours, especially when we believe it to be under siege. But I cannot meekly accept this judgment, not while my people suffer. be out of the question for the Sultanate to accept us for a limited time? A week mayhap, or even just a few days? Excellent. I shall keep you informed. Lady Ugary, I have a proposal if you would hear it. Out with it, Master Alphino. The headquarters of my order, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, stands in a place called Revenant's Toll, an outpost in Mordona. Like most outposts, it is frequented by mercenaries and other men of action, and lacks the comforts of more well-established settlements. However, the leaders of Revenant's Toll have been doing their utmost to change that. To that end, they have need of able-bodied individuals willing to work as frontier hands. Hard labor, lest you doubt, with naught save food and shelter by way of reward. Terms not unlike those which you yourself propose, Lady Ugary. Though I will not hear a word said against our beloved Olda, Revenant's Toll would offer certain advantages, the absence of unhelpful bureaucracy being the most obvious. If they can accommodate us all, we shall gladly accept. Master Alphino, once again I find myself in your debt. Pray, do not thank me, my lady. The life your people go to is one of hard labor and few comforts, as I told you. And before that, there remains the matter of how they may safely be borne to Revenant's Toll, which will be no small feat, considering the distance and their present condition. Mayhap the Oldan Adventurers Guild can be of assistance. Look for me there anon, Kira. Lady Ugary, if you and your people would accompany me, we may discuss what aid the Immortal Flames can provide. We're concerned that the Doman refugees may find the journey to Revenant's Toll too much to bear. Too long have they been sequestered aboard their ship, with insufficient supplies and scarce room enough to breathe, let alone stretch their limbs. With that in mind, Mistress Momodi has kindly offered to accommodate the Domans until such time as they are ready to set out for Mordona. Those healthy enough to travel will embark as soon as transportation has been secured, while those too weak to leave at once will be permitted to stay until they regain their strength. Hello. What news? Transportation remains our greatest obstacle, General. Is there aught the Immortal Flames can do? I fear that exceeds our mandate. Were it a smaller number, mayhap it would go unnoticed. The Syndicate will not bear the cost of escorting more than 200 Domans to Mordona. If the government fails to act, the responsibility falls to the private citizens. I will engage the services of the 77 caravans on the Doman's behalf. Very well. We should begin contract negotiations at once. Your generosity is most welcome. After all that has befallen these good people, it is the least I can do. Come what may, you shall ever have a friend in Ul'dah, Lady Ugary. And you in Revenant's Toll, my lord. Well, sounds like we all have work to do. Lady Ugary, let's put our heads together and settle the details of our arrangement, shall we? She's smiling. She's smiling. Mistress Momodi is quite right. There is much to be done. Kira, I would like you to go visit Gigian, 77 Caravans representative in Scorpion's Crossing, to ensure that everything goes according to plan. Welcome, madame, welcome. May I say what an honor and privilege it is to serve you. Our finest carriages have been set aside for your use, and each will be driven by a highly experienced coachman, save, for one. Beg pardon? Why not all of them? Ah, well, there was an incident, you see, nothing bad, I hasten to add, and I had no choice but to discipline the fellow responsible. Alas, he proved unduly discouraged by this, and elected to leave our employ. Pity, really, he was so familiar with the route in question. Why, under different circumstances, 'tis very like that I would have chosen him to oversee this very caravan. Ha 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 ha. A thought occurs to me. You are an accomplished adventurer, are you not? Then mayhap you could go to the coffer and coffin and persuade the fellow in question to return. Needless to say, noble madam, I would never suggest such a thing were it not in your best interests. It is just that a venture of such import would seem to me to demand the very best. Would you not agree? Need your van? Bugger off. Me driving days are done. Gideon saw to that. Wouldn't listen when I tried to tell him what happened. Where's the blades? He says. Snort. 'Twas the goddamn blades what took me stuff in the first place. To him, it's all excuses and whining, of course. Tells me I've got to pay for missing goods out of me own bleeding pocket. The nerve of that bastard. Tweren't only his stuff as got robbed. Sniffle. They even took me ring, and I was gonna give that to me lass, you know? Sobbed. But does he give two shites about me and what I lost? Does he? Bullocks. I'll get it back for ya. You mean to say you'll take care of it? Get the stuff back and everything? Praise the 12. Things are finally starting to look up. I hear tell that the Horsons take it all to somewhere in Norfolk as well. Shouldn't be too hard to find. Pretend like they've got to hide their doings, being blades and all. But you'd best be careful, miss. They ain't like to return what they took just 'cause you asked polite. I don't like your face, missy. Makes me want to do things to it. And I reckon my mates feel the same way. Ain't that right, lads? I yield. It's all yours. You don't hurt me, please. Having your life step to the warrior of light. And oh, it's you. Ain't look finer than Blaze what robbed me. Y'all got all your stuff back, bro. 'Twas bless ye, miss. Now I can settle me accounts with Gideon. I'll make me way to Scorpion's Crossing straight away. Looking forward to working with ye. The woman of the hour. I hoped you might persuade him to return, but to go so far as to recover the stolen shipment? I must say, that was a welcome surprise. Pray inform Master Alpha know that our preparations are complete, and we await his orders. No further delays, I trust. Excellent. I shall leave more tasks in your capable hands. On which note, the hourglass is now ready to receive the domens, which means our next order of business is to ensure their safe passage to Ulda. As we speak, the domens are being ferried to Vesper Bay, after which they will be transported by carriage to Ulda. Alas, while our plans have proceeded relatively smoothly until now, efforts to coordinate the refugees' preparations have met with less success. Kira, I would have you return to Vesper Bay and facilitate the process through tasks great and small. In short, whatever must be done, do it. Speak with Hosen when you arrive. He has been designated the leader of the first group. Yo! Greetings. Alphino informed me that a scion would be arriving to help with the preparations. I'm honored to meet you, though shamed as well. Great warriors should not be tasked with such trivialities. I knew from a glance what manner of woman you were. I too have some skill at arms, as do many of our people. Little good it does us when our enemies are the elements and starvation, An act so simple as carrying the heavy crate is beyond the capability of our healthiest men, believe it or not. Pray, forgive this trifle. Would you bring to me the aforementioned crate on the docks? There is no one else to whom I can turn. Pretty stars. Stars are so pretty. Lazy homemade. Get up and get this crate, son. Look, these women over here talking, and he just over there chilling. I'm the one doing the work. Lazy busters. Is that the crate I spy in your arms? Pray, give it to me quickly. The contents are dear. Hurt? I thought my strength somewhat restored, but that clearly is not the case. By the gods, the armor, how could this have happened? 'Twas bestowed upon my father for feats of valor, every scale forged by a master smith, guaranteed to withstand the test of time. So we thought. The armor must have shifted within its confines during the long sea voyage. Many scales have come loose, and there are holes in the bottom of the crate, through which the 4 missing scales I count must have fallen. It can be repaired in time, but only if we recover those scales. Please, madame, retrace your steps and collect any scales you come across. I know not how I can face my father should those scales be forever lost. Here they are, but mine, and bless you, madam. I am in your debt. All that remains of Doma now are our mementos and memories. I can only hope that when such keepsakes are lost to us, those memories will be enough. Giddy's game. While you were seeing to that crate, the other members of my group finished preparing their belongings for shipment. Once all of the carriages arrive, we can begin loading. Oh, but you needn't concern yourself with that. We can manage with the coachman's help. Rather, I would like you to help round up the children that have been given into my care. My son Yozen can tell you more. Look at him standing up there like a boss. Yozen! Oh, hello there. I'm Yozen, son of Hosen. Will you be coming with us to Ula? I hear we're traveling by horse-drawn carriage. But don't you think they're queer? Giant birds that people ride like horses? I still want to try riding one, but... What's that? You're looking for the others? Don't worry, I already told them to get ready for the carriages. I'll need your help, though. We were just finishing a game of hide and seek. 3 players are still in hiding, and since Lady Yugiri told us to take it really seriously, they won't move until they're found. The Vesper Bay isn't that big, so I bet I can find them in no time. You don't look like you moving, bro. Looks like I'm the one who's got to find them. Yeah, there's one. Hey, you're not Yozen. Who are you? I'm Koharu. Kira Mercer, eh? I don't know anyone else was... Wait a minute. You're one of those, stallions, aren't you? No, scions. And you must know Lady Yugiri, right? Isn't she great? She's really good at hide and seek, too. Oh, right. It's almost time to go. Nice meeting you, Kira Mercer. How'd you find me? Bah! Guess I need to practice more. Or maybe you're just good at this. I mean, the Garleans didn't find me. Oh, what up, bro? Are you playing? Ah, no fair. Yozen didn't say anything about adults. Huh? We get to ride the horse-drawn carriage. I don't know. It sounds scary, but if Yozen says it's safe, I'll go. Wonderful. All the children are accounted. Hide and seek. Ah, I see that you are curious. It is quite simple, really. Lady Yugiri thought it best that the children know place the Garleans found us. I should hope that those days are behind us, but I nevertheless take comfort in knowing that we are prepared. The first caravan is due to depart shortly, followed by the rest at regular intervals. My family and I will be traveling in the lead carriage along with young Koharu, whom I believe you've already met. Though I understand the road to Ul'dah is regularly patrolled by the brass blades, brass blades. It would give us great comfort if you would agree to accompany us on our journey. Once again, I thank you for your kindness. When you are ready to leave, please inform our coachman. I'm ready! Eager to be off, are ye? Aye, well, I was meaning to have a word with ye about that. Runner from the Blast Blade says we might have a problem. A fierce-looking beastie been sighted south of the bridge of Hammerley. Might be as someone's eyes are playing tricks on him, of course, but it don't pay to gamble in this business. Now I know you can handle yourself in a fight, but this lot here is another story. So I was thinking you might go on ahead and have a quick look around, make sure the area is safe like. And if you come across anything dangerous, you know what to do. You're satisfied the way is clear, meet us outside Horizon. Blades tell me the road there is safe, so I reckon we can make it that far on our own. Assuming the self-same bastards don't try to rob us, that is. Beastie is dead, my friend. So there was a beastie. Was being the operative word, eh? Well fought, madame, well fought. Ah, if only I were in better health, I should have been proud to stand at your side. Pay my son no mind. He forgets that his responsibility precludes acts of daring do. Be that as it may, I cannot help but envy you. Had we been able to call upon heroes of your strength and skill in Doma, things would have been very different. Cannot change the past. Those who fought and fell are forever lost to us. Lost but not forgotten. Lady Ugari's kinsmen least of all. They fought fiercest, though they knew full well it was in vain. She had every right to walk away, yet she chose to stay. Food, shelter, the promise of a better life, all this and more we owe to her. How does one even begin to repay such a debt? In kind, Father, to she who has given everything, we shall give our all. Whatever work there is to be done, we shall do without question. Ditch digging, bricklaying, it matters not. Revenant's toll will grow and prosper by our hands. Whoa! Hey, Miss Kira, Koharu and I want to know why you became an adventurer. To gain power, to win glory, to amass fortune, to win glory. Glory? Ah, like bringing honor to your family, you mean? Yes, Father always goes on about that. It's my turn now. Excuse me, Miss Kira. I've got a question. What's Revenant Toll like? Is it pretty? It's a bustling outpost frequented by countless adventurers, the bastion of civilization, harsh and unforgiving wildernesses, home of silence and dawn. It is a stone's throw away from the Imperial Castro. Home of silence and dawn. Oh, so you live there with your friends. That means you'll always be there to protect us. Yes, ma'am. Enough, Koharu. It's my turn again. Miss Kira, when I'm older, I want to be strong like you. What do I have to do? Seek out new experiences and adventures. Fight ferocious beasts. Train every day. Buy weapons and armor from Moana. Seek out new experiences and adventures. Of course, to be a better adventurer, you need to go adventuring. Alright, that's enough questions for Miss Kira. That's not fair. Why does Yozen get to ask 2 questions? I want to know about adventuring just as much as he does. Just one more, please. Do you think I could be an adventurer like you one day? Hell yeah, son. Really? Then I will. Thanks for the advice, Miss Kira. I won't forget it. I'm gonna be an adventurer too. We get to Revenant's Toll. Let's make an adventurers guild for Domans. We'll protect our friends and punish the wicked, just like Miss Kira and Lady Yugiri. Yeah, just like Miss Kira and Lady Yugiri. Yugiri. We can talk about it in the carriage on the way. Will you be joining us?